Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight killer video. Before getting into the gameplay, I quickly want to give a shout out to these people who commented in my previous video about the Death Slinger. I appreciate all the comments that you guys leave and I enjoy reading them, so make sure to comment below on this video to have a chance at being featured in my next video. Now let's get on to the gameplay. I'm playing the Spirit, and we are on the game map. So I'm trying to test something out here with discordance, trying to grab people off gens. I forget what exactly the archive I was doing for this game, but it might be the grab survivors off gens one, since I have discordance, and I don't usually run discordance. But anyways, right now I'm just looking for the survivors. The game is, I believe, the smallest map in Dead by Daylight. And usually you have at least one or two survivors spawn below ground and then the rest spawn above. So I heard a generator being worked on, trying to get the jump on them here, but they walked off because they heard the terror radius. There you are. A lot of survivors will hide in corners, and for some reason the David just tried to blind me. Okay, so with barbecue I saw one person, so maybe I can get the jump on them. Let's see here. Ooh, someone's on a chest. And whoa! Got the grab. She was not careful enough. She was in my heartbeat, so she thought I wasn't phasing, but I was. And now they saved off the hook. Yep, so now I have vision on everyone. They're just going to heal under hook, so I'm not worried too much about that because that means they're not doing gens. I'm going to go after this Dwight here because he could do a gen. The other two are healing, so with that information I know I can chase Dwight. And I know they also have to go for the save, so right now I have a lot of pressure up. And Dwight pulled a fast one on me. He actually backtracked, which was smart. And that was not smart. So I predicted he would jump the window in his panic to get away from me and easily cut him off. That's why it's so important as a survivor to watch where the killer is going and try not to jump things before you see what the killer is actually doing. So now I know two survivors are at the hook, and then one survivor is at least somewhere else. So I saw them healing over there. So right now, only one survivor at the most is doing a gen. And wow, they just healed under hook, so now, prime time to Slug. Meg is on the ground, the other guy is on the hook, so I'm chasing David. The other guy has to save the person on the hook. He can't be doing a generator right now. And I can just tunnel the David. Now after I down David, I think I'm going to go to the hook, but we'll see what we do. So, David just used Dead Hard there, so that's why I missed. And here I'm trying to do something fancy with my phasing, but did not work out. So I kinda mind gamed myself there. Got him anyway, because he thought he could hide in the corner, but I knew he was still there because there was no scratch marks leading out. I didn't see any bloodstains leading out, so I knew he was still in that room. Obviously I didn't hear him. He didn't vault the window because I would have heard him vault the window. So now two survivors healing and one survivor on the ground. So now I know where all four survivors are. So this is a good example of how you keep pressure up as killer. And now I can just slug the Dwight and chase the last survivor and I win the game. Unless one of them has Unbreakable, which I doubt. You do run into it sometimes where someone has Unbreakable. So this guy's clearly going for the hook save. See? So we'll see if he has borrowed time or anything. I know David has Dead Hard, but he did not use it this time. And Jake just jumped the window over here, which was not a smart move. If he he should have slow vaulted the window, because then I wouldn't know where he was, and I would have just took the David. But since the Jake vaulted that window, I knew where he was, so I slugged the David. So another game won by basically having good pressure and slugging when it was appropriate. So when you play Killer, you have to kind of keep these tabs in your brain of where all the survivors are. I tried to tell you guys, like in this video, I was saying I see 2 survivors there, so I know this or that. And you have to pay attention to your notifications, because whenever you get a notification, that's where a survivor is. So hopefully, I was able to tell everything to you guys effectively, because things do happen pretty fast in the game, and sometimes it's hard to keep up. So now it's just the time where you look for the slugs. I see the blood trail, so obviously you can get the Dwight. Now, it is possible someone could wiggle off if they have that one perk, what's it called? Flip-flop. But this guy's not wiggling at all. So, big mistakes the survivors made. They were focused too much on healing each other. Because of Sloppy Butcher, that slows down healing, and they were just trying to heal each other, they weren't doing gems, and I guess not going down too fast as well. But if they spread out more, they could have at least gotten 2 gems done before the end. As Survivor, especially in those situations when there's only 2 survivors up and the other 2 are on the hook or down, you want to split up. You do not want to be together at all. Because being together is what equals a win for the killer, like you just saw there. The survivors were always together. And being together also makes a perfect slugging combo. Okay, so my archive for this one was the 200,000 blood points, not the grab. So I guess I was just using Discordance to see if it worked, because I do play around with builds from time to time, and I was trying to see if Discordance was a good enough perk. So it's surprising to see that 2 of the survivors here actually had Spine Chill, because Spine Chill actually counters the spirit. Since it lights up whenever the killer is looking at you, you will always know when the spirit is kind of phasing at you with Spine Chill. Now here we are on the Pale Rose. So, the one bad thing about this map for survivors is that when you hear crows go off as killer, you know someone spawned on the boat. So you can just go straight to the boat. And then as survivor, if you hear crows, then you know the killer spawned at the boat. Or a fellow survivor. Either way, you know someone spawned at the boat. So I'm just looking around because I did see those scratch marks, and people do like to hide in the corners with the rocks and stuff. I'm pretty sure someone's still at the boat, but I'm just gonna walk away and maybe see if they come out of hiding. Here I'm gonna try and sneak up on whoever's on this gem. Oh, there we are. And they were holding their sprint burst in, but they kind of wasted it by doing that hill thing. If you have sprint burst, you should never just jump off a hill, because you just waste your sprint burst on the stagger. Okay, so 2 people with Discordance here, maybe I can get 1. Well, I got a hit, but I know 2 people are here because of Discordance. So maybe 1 person's in a locker or something. I see 2 sets of scratch marks. Yeah. Did not cut the curve enough. And that other person did a gem. Okay, I was trying to mind game the Bill, and he did the smart thing by going away from the pallet, but it probably would have been safer for him to go upstairs on the boat instead of in a dead-end area. Plus basement's here, so now you get a free hook in basement. And now I know 2 survivors are on that generator over there, and then 1 other survivor is still in the boat, or around here. Okay, so all 3 of them, I think, are in the same... Oh, that looks like only 2 are healing. So the other survivor is nearby. Oh, here they are. Okay, so someone is sabotaging hooks, which is actually good for me because they're wasting time. So one person's sabotaging hooks, I'm chasing the Claudette, third survivor's probably going for the save. I respected the pallet, I knew they were going to throw it. And now they save. So I'm going to go straight back to basement because I know there's an injured Bill there, and they're either healing in the basement or, like you see here, climbing up the boat. So right now I'm trying to get him to jump without me actually going up there. Just trying to mind game him. I thought I could swing to the pallet fast enough. Oh. Bill waited too long to run back towards the pallet. He should have been closer to the pallet, but maybe he thought I was phasing, so that's why. I just hope he doesn't have decisive. Okay. So that Meg has a flashlight. I'm focused on hooking, because I know two survivors are here, but I don't necessarily want to slug because one of them's full health, and Bill is second hook, so it's better just to hook him, and then go after the survivors that are here. So you see now I can kind of put pressure on the hook by staying in the area chasing Claudette, which prevents a save, and I can possibly injure Claudette. So that's one of the situations where you should know when to slug and when not to slug. And in that moment, it was more important to hook Bill because he'll be second phase on the hook than to try and get two survivors. Like, there was no guarantee I'd be able to get both of those guys down. Okay, so they went in basement. Okay, I'm not sure what Meg was doing there. She might have had head on, and that's why you have to be careful as killer around those lockers, because whenever someone... Whoa. So now these survivors are doing I don't know what, but I have saved the best for last, so this is one of the reasons why I love save the best for last, right? My cooldown, my recovery speed on my attacks is so fast that it allowed me to down Claudette and then go after Meg. So, okay, so Bill had Unbreakable. So this is one of the situations where a survivor can have Unbreakable. So I now know that they're gonna heal the Claudette. They're gonna heal the Claudette that's crawling upstairs, probably. I'm just double checking the lockers though to make sure no one did heal him. I want to also make sure no one's gonna head on me. So, one of the reasons I'm not hooking Bill yet is because by keeping him in the game, it actually creates another point for survivors to want to go towards. Whereas if I killed him, then the survivors... I kind of worded that weird. If I keep Bill in the game, the survivors want to go and heal him. If I kill Bill, then the survivors could just do a generator instead of going to heal someone. So now I'm slugging just because they did pretty good on gens. There's only 2 left and that one's almost done. And what do you know? Someone else has Unbreakable. So this is a team of Unbreakable survivors. But thanks to Save the Best for Last, I'm actually doing pretty well, pretty good at getting them back down. Now, if this 4th survivor is smart, they would go to the corner and heal. Okay, so now I'm gonna hook Bill just because everyone is probably close to their 99 recovery. So, better to just get Bill out of the game. And I know that Meg is baiting me to her, so I did not chase her. Okay, when you see survivors making obvious baits, you don't go after them because they want to take you away from the people they know are in danger. And I have no idea what that Meg was... That flashlight Meg? Why is she here? What? I thought she ran the other way. So, big mistake on the survivors not splitting up there. Now, I'm pretty sure Claudette actually did run in the opposite direction, so she did a good move there. So I'm gonna see if I can figure out where she is with barbecued chili. Alright, so now I'm just gonna hook her friends to try and draw her out. I'm hooking... Oh, there she goes. But if we put Meg on the hook, it does put a faster timer and when she needs to be saved. Plus they're both injured now, so they're easy down. I heard the Meg, that's why I knew she was there, and I wasn't expecting her to vault the window. I just knew a Meg was there because I heard her injured grunts. So now I'm wondering where Claudette is. Because this is a difficult situation. Claudette probably should just look for Hatch in this situation, I think. Oh, no, she tried to go for save. Yet, it's very tough in a situation where one person's on the hook and one person's in the dying state. Usually you should just look for Hatch, just because unless you have borrowed time or something to help you with the save, it's kind of a waste. Anyways, what I did right there, I knew she was going to camp the pallet, or I just assumed she was going to camp the pallet. I didn't know for sure, so I took a risk there. She could have stunned me or walked away or something. But I was able to get her. And now I'm gonna be a tryhard killer and camp her 4%. Because that's what I do. After playing Dead by Daylight for 3+ years, you kinda... Oh look, Hatch is right here. So I know where Hatch is, I know I'm safe to go pick up the Meg. And then I can hook her and go back and close Hatch. So I don't have to risk adrenaline or anything. Anyways, after playing DBD for so long, you get tired of survivors 4%ing off the hook all the time that you just don't want the game to drag on. I just want to end the game. I don't want someone to 4% and have to chase them again. Like, it's such a hassle. It's such a chore. But another example of how knowing when to Slug can win you the game, and how Save the Best for Last is an amazing perk. Because I had Save the Best for Last, I was actually able to get my recovery on those hits quicker, so I was able to slug a lot easier than if I hadn't had Save the Best for Last. I'm pretty sure if I did not have Save the Best for Last in that situation, it would have been a lot harder for me to slug them. Because they had Unbreakable, which means they had faster recovery speed. And that is really a good counter to slugging. So we see here that 2 people did have Unbreakable, which they did use. And we had 1 Adrenaline, Sprint Burst, Spine Chill, stuff like that. 1 person did have Borrow Time, but I did not see any usage of it. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something today. I hope you were able to understand everything I was talking about, and I wasn't too repetitive, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or thoughts about this video, because I would love to hear them. And make sure to leave a like as well to show your support of this type of video, so I know if I should make more or I should just not make these videos at all and focus on a different kind of video. Thank you so much for the support, and as always, good luck out there in the fog, and see ya next time.